Richards Bay, South Africa. We arrived in Richards Bay on a beautiful, clear blue sky day. We docked at 10 a.m. and the ship was scheduled to depart at 9 p.m., giving passengers over 10 hours to enjoy our first stop in South Africa. All of the passengers on the ship were excited as Richards Bay is a gateway to various safaris, including the famous Hluhluwe-iMfolozi game reserve. However, that excitement quickly turned into worry and frustration as we realized the disembarkation from the ship was not going to be easy. The combination of South African customs and immigration requirements, along with the disorganization on the part of NCL Cruise Line, made getting off the ship a nightmare, one that took over 3 hours. To my surprise, we found ourselves in a coal dock covered in coal dust that was blowing everywhere. Thankfully, I had a few face masks in my backpack and I quickly put one on to avoid inhaling this black dust. For our time in Richards Bay, we planned to do our own tour to visit one of the best safaris in South Africa. I had reserved a rental car at the Richards Bay Airport, which is about 11 kilometers or 7 miles away from the port. To get a taxi or an Uber, we first need to make our way outside the port gate. Once at the gate, we discovered dozens of other passengers also seeking transportation. Although Ubers are available in Richards Bay, there were a limited number of drivers available at the time. Fortunately, we found a taxi willing to take us to the airport. Upon arriving at the airport, we were quickly attended to our rental car, and by 3:30, we were on our way to check out Hluhluwe-iMfolozi Game Reserve. Hluhluwe is one of the oldest nature reserves in Africa and is located about 80 kilometers or 50 miles from Richards Bay. After the significant delays we experienced this day, we only had 5 hours left before the 9 o'clock all aboard time, and we needed to include at least 3 hours for the round-trip travel time. This left us with very little time to explore the reserve. The drive to the park was pretty easy. The roads were well marked and well paved. After about an hour and a half, we arrived at the Hluhluwe-iMfolozi Game Reserve. This game reserve contains all of the big 5 game animals, including the lion, the elephant, the leopard, buffalo, and rhino, up close and personal. We entered the park by going through the Nylazi gate and paid a daily admission fee of 240 Rand, equivalent to $13 US, and we received a park map along with the admission fee. Given our limited time, we opted to do a self-driving adventure tour with our compact Toyota rental car, hoping to see some wildlife animals ourselves. It's important to note that the NCL company was offering this tour on board the ship for $239 per person. With just a little over an hour to explore, we had to move quickly and stay aware of our surroundings as the park covers over 96,000 hectares, equivalent to 370 square miles. This means the park is over 20 miles long and 19 miles wide. By 5 p.m., we began our self-drive safari, filled with excitement and anticipation. Within minutes, we spotted a herd of antelope. Then we came across a group of zebras. And then shortly after that, we saw another group of zebras near the roadside. A bit later, we passed the Hluhluwe-iMfolozi River and witnessed a group of elephants crossing the river and 2 young elephants playfully interacting. It was pretty unbelievable. After driving over 20 kilometers or about 12 miles, we arrived in Mpila camp, where we made a quick restroom stop before heading back. It was now about 6:30 and I began to feel a little bit anxious about getting back to the ship on time. To ensure we arrived back punctually to the ship, we decided to drive back directly towards where we came from, admiring the wildlife without stopping. After about 7 minutes, we were surprised and stopped by a mother elephant and her calf. I was trying to remain in the moment, feeling grateful for the opportunity to witness such a beautiful experience, and at the same time, I was feeling anxious about time. After another 10 minutes of driving, we were stopped again, but this time by a larger group of elephants. Although I felt rushed, I couldn't help but feel lucky to see this magnificent animal up close. Unfortunately, we had to keep moving. On our way back, we spotted more zebras, more antelope, and another giant elephant by the side of the road. Fortunately, we made it back to the airport to return our rental car by 8:30 p.m. and we arranged for the rental car employee to drive us back to the port cruise terminal. Luckily, we were dropped off just 10 minutes before the all-aboard time of 9 p.m. The stress of getting back onto the ship was real. However, knowing we had experienced a fantastic and unforgettable adventure despite the earlier delays called for a celebration dinner and drinks. So once on the ship, the Aqua restaurant, one of the complimentary dining options aboard the ship, was open until 9:30 p.m., allowing us to enjoy a delicious dinner followed by drinks before calling it a night.